Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of IndieTention. As always, my name is Kaiser. We'll be checking out a game called Swordbreaker Origins in the same universe of Swordbreaker, the game that's developed and published by DuCats Games Studio as well, together with this one. Now that one, it's a visual novel, I would say, an adventure game. So this one, it's on a similar vein, pardon me. According to the Steam store page, it reads an illustrated text quest in the Swordbreaker universe. The prequel tells about the life and adventures of Swordbreaker from his childhood and before the events in the mysterious castle. Without further ado, let's check out the settings menu before we jump into the game. So not much to it, since it's just a text-based game, illustrated text-based game, mind you. Okay, let's check out new game.
A Swordbreaker, the mysterious adventurer that one day shaped the fate of the abandoned castle. But how? Did he save the princess? Did he become the Dark Lord? Or has he stolen the Lord's gem? What do we know about the Swordbreaker at all? Who is he? And how did he get his nickname? This story will tell you about the time when a naive boy wasn't the Swordbreaker yet, and he would have to face his fate at a young age. And who knows if he become that same man known for his adventures in the castle, or if totally different ones awaits him. It all began in his home village of Sunny Hills, where he spent his childhood days.
Okay, so this is the rough layout of the game. So escape for statistics, space to hide and show text. Use the mouse wheel to scroll the text like so. Okay, let me see. M for map. So this is map. Choose statistics and the map. Read the story. Choose your way. Hide the UI. Simple enough. Daniel Horde. Your food is ready. Come home quick. His mother called sternly. Coming, mom. The boy shouted back from some bushes, climbed out of the bush near the neighboring house, waved goodbye to his friends, and went into his house. His family wasn't rich, but his mother's income was enough for a normal life. They also had a garden where they grew crops, so the Horde family had a lot of things to take care of. Daniel had no father. He died. His father was a soldier in King Stefan's army and was mortally wounded in the first attack of the Mingals. The boy never saw him and made it feel sad at times. Eat your lunch and go to school, his mother said. What should Daniel answer? Choice. One for why do I have to go to school, or two, alright mother. Let's pick one. Let me see the drawing. Oh, it's pretty nice. Why do I have to go to school? Asked the boy. Why do you have to? His mother was surprised. All children go to school to become smart, but I want to be a soldier like my dad, Danny said sadly. All in good time, son. When you grow up, you'll decide for yourself what you want, to serve in the army or become a farmer, his mother said. Look, Uncle Tom is a fat, well-to-do farmer. He has his own herd of sheep and cows, and they bring him a lot of money. A lot of money. Wouldn't you like to be him? His mother insisted. Danny didn't really want to be a fat farmer and mess around in manure, but he didn't say anything. Okay, so I'm guessing will bring us back to the options, I guess. Let's pick number 2. Danny ate his lunch and left the house. He walked down the village street towards his school. He didn't want to go to school, but his mother insisted on it. When he was far enough away from home, he suddenly had an idea. Maybe he could skip school and seek some adventures in the forest. Go to school, go to forest. You know what? Let's pick the safe route, since the story sort of pointing us to the forest. Let's go the other direction. When the boy reached school, he opened the door and sat down at his desk. The teacher said something about letters and the alphabet, but he wasn't very interested. All his thoughts were about the future. He wanted to grow up as soon as possible. After the class finished, when all the students and the teacher left, the classroom. Danny stayed behind and saw that there was a strange black book on the teacher's desk. Should he take it or not? I mean, curiosity, right? Take the book. Danny picked up the unusual book. The cover read Exorcism, Summoning Underworld Gods. It was difficult for Danny to read this book, but he still managed to read the most interesting chapter about summoning the devil. He sat reading the book until the evening. He then put the book back on the table and went home. 10 years passed. Daniel grew up. He still wanted to become soldier, however, now he was worried about one thing, whether he wanted to be a soldier in the Royal Army or a free warrior. One summer day, a Rangwin enlistment officer arrived in Sunny Hills. He stopped at the tavern, got off his horse and rang the bell to gather people for an announcement. When they finally gathered around him, the officer unfolded a scroll with a seal. In the name of King Stefan, I command all young men between the ages of 20 and 25 to be drafted into the army for 5 years. The mobilization is being carried out due to the increased activity of the Imperial troops on our western borders. The men must arrive at the barracks in Rangwin within 10 days. Those who decide to dodge the draft will be hanged for treason, the officer read. After that, his assistants handed out draft cards to all the men who fit the requirements. Then he realized that this was the moment to make a difficult choice in his life. Should he go to Rangwin or try to escape into the woods? Or maybe he should ask the officer a silly question. I mean, let's ask a silly question. What time do we have to wake up in the army? Danny shouted. You must wake up at 6 in the morning because the only thing you want to do at 6 in the morning is killing people. The enlistment officer shouted. Fair enough. Same fate as our father and possibly same death as well. Let's escape to the forest. I mean, we can just leave our mama apparently. Danny decided to become a free adventurer and not to serve the king. He gathered up his belongings and went into the forest. It was the forest near his village. The trees rose high into the sky, and there were bushes with bright berries all around. The young man walked for a long time until he got tired. He decided to camp for the night, so he built a fire and made a small shelter out of small tree branches. He noticed a mushroom under a tree. I hope it's edible, Daniel said out loud. Should he eat the mushrooms raw, or cook it over fire, or should he just go to sleep? Or maybe he should just take the mushroom with him. Cook the mushroom for sure. I mean, that was very quick. Then Daniel picked the suspicious mushroom, poked the stick through it, and it began to fry. Suddenly the mushroom started to stink horribly. Then he didn't pay attention at first, but within a minute the young man started to have breathing problems. His lungs contracted for the last time and stopped. He helplessly tried to draw in a single breath but failed. And we got the first ending. I know this in this. Let me apologize for seeing the scroll. I'm actually scrolling through my browser. 8 incredible endings of the game. I'm not sure whether is that one of them. If it is, that was rather quick. Let's think. Eat the raw mushroom. I know we're gonna die, but I have to find out. Die how? Oh, we lost. Oh, okay. I did not realize this. So we have 3 attempts at our story. Then he picked up the mushroom and put it into his mouth. Without thinking, he felt a terrible bitter flavor. After that, he began to spit out nasty mushroom, but his mouth started to bleed. The acid in the mushroom started to eat away at Daniel's mouth and intestines. Soon the young man's torment ended and he fell under the tree. Okay, so we lost life for it. Second one. I mean, since we're down to our last one, why not just take the mushroom and see whether we will die as well? Or rather, can we use it for something else? Daniel took the mushroom and put it in his pocket. Now he can go to sleep. Oh, apparently we did not die. Did not release the fumes as it did earlier. In any incomprehensible situation, go to sleep. Then he remembered Uncle Tom's words. Probably because he's a farmer who doesn't have much time to sleep, so any opportunity will Any opportunity to nap presents itself, he will sleep. All flowers wait into the night, and the crickets chirped steadily, lulling Daniel to sleep. The young man crawled into shelter, curled up, and fell asleep in the middle of the night. Daniel was awakened by a loud crackling sound of a branch somewhere near his shelter. He grabbed his sword. Should he climb out of his shelter to the fire, sit quietly, or scream? Climb out, no doubt. If we're gonna die, we better die now. Then he sprang out of the shelter and ran into the fire. Suddenly, 3 wolves came out of the bushes, surrounded him, and growled fiercely. Daniel broke out in cold sweat, but he didn't lose his temper. What should he do? Throw a burning stick at one of them, slash one of them with a sword, or try to climb up the tree? Throw a burning stick for the fun of it. And we died. Daniel grabbed one of the burning sticks and threw it at the wolf standing in front of him. The wolf's fur caught fire instantly. He started to whine and quickly ran into the bushes, but the 2 wolves were already attacking the boy from behind and from the side, quickly tearing chunks of flesh from him. He didn't have time to fight them off. You've been a hero. I wouldn't call it a hero. Death scenes, check it out. Apparently this is not the ending, but rather just 3 out of the possible 217 death scenes. What is this, I wonder? No way to find out, actually. Maybe? Oh, okay, maybe we got this because of our choices, and that's why we've been said to have been a hero. Maybe this is the villain and this is something else. Alright, let's do another one.
Swordbreaker. What do we know of this story? And
Gonna skip all the intro for now. I mean, not for now, but every time we die. I've been reading the book. I'm not sure whether that did anything for us, so let's probably just go to the forest straight away. Come what may, the boy thought, and he ran in the direction of the forest. The tall trees rustled noisily in the wind, and the strange berry bushes growing between the trees beckoned to Danny. He found a path that led off into the distance. Should he eat the berries, go along the path, or go the opposite direction from the path? No reason for him to eat the berries, I believe. So let's... opposite direction. Danny decided not to follow the path but turned into a thicket. He walked for several minutes until he came to a strange clearing. The grass in the clearing was flattened and some mosaic glass pieces were scattered right over it. The boy looked around but found no one nearby. Should he play around with mosaic glass or go further? Smells like a trap. Go on further though. Okay, I guess that was it then. You didn't discover anything? Let's try join the army this time. Danny made a decision. He'll join the army. Why run away from it? Running away is for weaklings, and he's not like that. The young man told his mother about his decision. She wasn't happy, of course, but she didn't say anything against it. Daniel took a small bag of provisions, his father's sword, kissed his mother goodbye, and set off for Rangwin. He knew that from the moment he was on his own, he had to protect himself. Outside Sunny Hills, then he found himself on a country road. The road to the city was far away. The young man slowly walked along the road and kicked the pebbles on his way. Suddenly, he heard a rustling noise. He looked around but couldn't find the source of the sound. Should he stop paying attention to the noise and move on, or should he examine the ground nearby? Let me see. So we can't save. Oh, okay, there you go. So this is hero based on a choice. I'm Karma actually. Killer, coward. Okay. Oh, this is a neat. Get a number voting for them. If you're streaming this. Map, let's see. So we... oh, this is very helpful actually. Wow, I can see many question marks. So it's quite in depth, all things considered. So let me see. This is for our current playthrough, I believe. Yeah, I'm guessing this one, the ticks are the path that we've explored in our other playthroughs. Okay. Examine. Why not, right? Shit. Dan decided to look around. He bent down and started walking, examined every inch of road. Suddenly he heard a rustle and a nasty hiss. But it was too late. A viper bit his nose and hung on it. Daniel grabbed it by the tail and threw it into the bushes. Poison started working, and there was no one to help Daniel. So there he lay, dead on a dusty road. Poor lad. Okay, we know what we should have done. I'm probably hearing things. The young man shrugged and walked on. The sun was going down. Daniel stopped and marveled at the beauty pink sunset. He had never seen so far away from home. He had never been so far away from home alone before. Daniel left the road and went toward the forest to spend the night there. He lay down on the grass and began to fall asleep. The warm breeze and the rustle of the leaves lulled him to sleep. Suddenly, a black shadow appeared over him. What should he do? Should he attack the shadow? Or maybe should he wait and see what happens? Or should he run away? I guess just wait first. Might be a friendly. Then he decided to be brave and see what happens next. The shadow approached him. "Hey, fellow," said a man in rags. "Have you got any food?" "Sure, here you are." Daniel gave the stranger some bread. They ate together and then the tramp prepared to leave. "Here, take this ring. It's not gold, it just looks like it. Maybe you'll manage to sell it to somebody." He smiled and left. Then he put on the ring in his pocket and went to sleep. Fishy, hey? Morning came. The cloudless sky promised a beautiful day. Daniel gathered up his belongings and wandered down the road until he came to a fork in the road. The description on the sign read straight ahead to Rangwen, right to Nai Lake, left to Blackwater. He needed to go Rangwen. Why not go for adventures? Let me see a map. We'll be off, so be going to here. Straight ahead. I'm guessing this is Rangwen. Okay, so this one is discovered as well. Death, death, death. So much death. All three of our lives from our previous playthrough. Oh, I could have just hit M actually. Let's just be direct for now. Daniel walked slowly along the road to the north. Up ahead, in the middle of the road, Danny saw several merchant wagons. There was nothing unusual. Merchants often traveled to sunny hills. He came up to the wagons and realized that the people near the wagons were not exactly merchants. Or rather, not merchants at all. It was a camp of bandits who had recently robbed a merchant caravan. Boxes of goods and provisions were partially open and scattered along the road. In a ditch near the road lay 3 corpses. Apparently those were the merchants themselves. 3 armed bandits sat near the fire and were firing something. When they heard Daniel's footsteps, they turned and looked at him questioningly. What should he do? Try to talk to them, draw a sword, or attack them, or sarcasm? Or maybe shock the bandits and run quickly through their camp, pardon me. So we have all 4 options this time around. Since they know that we are coming, let's try to shock them. Hopefully it works. Oh, it did not work. Then he decided to do something crazy, and the first thing that came to his mind was to run through the camp. He ran straight at the stunned bandits but bumped into one of them with his shoulder, lost his balance, fell face first into the fire. The coals of the fire and the meat robbers were cooking scattered all around. Daniel lay face down the fire, unconscious and burned to death. How about that? Let's try sarcasm this time. Oh my god. Hey you three little pigs, I can see you guys are having fun there. Killing merchants, robbing them, that's not a good thing to do. Then he shouted, defiantly drawing his sword from his sheath and moving closer to the fire and the bandits. We are gonna slash you into pieces. Come on fellas, let's teach him a less. The cockeye didn't have a chance to finish his sentence as Danny relentlessly slashed his chest from shoulder to pelvis. Oof. Top off, slid off the lower part and both pieces of the bandit fell to the ground. Fatso and Turban stared at Daniel in shock. Well done Dad, your sword is still sharp. Look how nice the pieces are. Daniel said admiringly while looking at the dead bandit. Should he marvel at his victory or attack the rest of the bandits? Probably attack. Oh my god, that was unexpected. By attacking the bandits with the sword again, then he brought them out of their state of shock. The bandits dodged the young man's attack and slashed him with their scimitars from both sides. Scimitars sunk deep in Daniel's body, so he had no chance to survive. Dang son, so we are a villain or killer rather, but you've been a human. Oh, let's check out the map again. So much death though. One kidding, having 217 of them. Let's do another one.
What do we know?
Oh, okay. Should have read the story properly, huh? Let's try a different path in the forest. Go along the path. Path looped through the forest continuously. He was getting dark. In the end, the path led him out of the forest to his village. So eventually, he didn't find anything in the forest. Alright, so maybe next time we can eat the berries for no reason. Join the army once more. Let's move on. Wait and see what happens. Go straight ahead. Sarcasm, so we can get rid of one of them. Let's marvel this time. And he picked up the piece of the cockeyed bandit with his foot and threw at the fat bandit. Let me see. Dang son, the other guy bolted. I mean, who wouldn't? What a great sword. I will now slash everybody with it, the young man said cheerfully. The bandit stood in utter shock, unable to say a word. Then they scattered in all directions. Where are you going, boys? Daniel shouted to them both. To them. We haven't finished the party yet, have we? The bandits ran stumbling. Should he finish them or have mercy on them? They did say we can. Ooh, see we can see our statistics, right? Let me see. Killer, hero. This is our karma, though. I'm guessing finishing them off would be killer, but letting them go might be. Not sure with the hero or not. Let's try finishing them off this time. You clearly underestimated me, Danny shouted. He then hurled sword at one of the robbers, Cult-Eye's scimitar at the second one. Two corpses with swords in their backs remained lying on the road. Nicely done, Danny. After dealing with the bandits, Danny continued his journey along the road to the city until he noticed that there was a small road to the left which led to the Black River. Should he, move on preferably? Let me see. Yeah, we got that. The morning was warm. The sun continued to rise high in the sky. A dense forest surrounded the road on both sides and created a shadow on the ground. A little further on, Danny heard some noises in the forest to his right. Having looked around, he saw a man tied to a tree. The sun's rays had not yet reached him, so he was in the shadow. Should I approach him or not? Or maybe he should watch the man, what the man will do. I guess hopefully we don't die. Daniel walked over to the captain, looked at him. The man was in a leather armor, light skin, and the black hair on his head was tied in a ponytail. "Hey you," Captain shouted, "please help me. We don't have much time. Untie me." "Wait a second, tell me who you are first. Maybe you're one of the bandits," then he assumed. "Of course I'm not. I'm a simple adventurer who got caught by the bandits from the road. Could you hurry up?" The man said hurriedly. "I guess that's why I believe him." "Alright," Daniel said. Cut the rope. Without saying a word, the man ran away deep to the forest. Then he didn't understand what happened. Should he run after him or leave him be and go on? Let's just go on, I guess. The lonely, winding road led Daniel to Rangwin. The silhouette of the royal castle was already visible in the distance. To the left of the road, the young man saw the unusual stone in a hole attracted by the totem. Then he went to it. When the totem wasn't too far away, the young hero felt that he couldn't go any further. It was as if an invisible wall prevented him from approaching the totem. He tried to go back to the road, but the totem wouldn't let him go there either. Daniel saw some glowing stones near his feet. Assemble all the stone pieces on the same type of form. Assemble. Oh my god! Supposed to assemble all the stones. We got 2 lives. Okay, so this is one of the many mini games. Let's see. What happened? So I guess I'm supposed to study it very well and just click on it. This one looks like here, right? No? Daniel was dead. I have no idea what. Same type of pieces when making 2 pieces. So all the stones the same. Yeah, wasn't it at the same time? Okay, let's study it thoroughly then. Okay, this one looks like a fine one with this line here, sort of like a mini tick. This one? No, I don't think so, but then nothing else matches them. Nothing else seems to fit. Okay, this one with a V, so we need to find something with pointy. Maybe this one? Okay, that's one. Excuse me. Let's try to do the certain ones for now. Excuse me. All these readings making my throat dry actually. This one, let me see. It's not this one, right? Could it be this? I think so. Hell yeah. Okay, this one should be... Excuse me again. No, I don't think it's this. Okay, this one looks like a big V cut. Might be... this one perhaps? Or maybe this one. This one looks at this one. No, this one is too clean. Apologies for the audio cut. Maybe this one is this one. Even though this one is seems very clean compared to this one, but this is the closest thing I can think of that I can see. Oh, lucky. Big V, might be these two. So far we only got the green ones. Green or cyan. So it seems fairly like almost straight. Maybe this one. Nice. Okay, this thick though. Is it this on this one? Not too sure for now. So the green or cyan, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this one and this one. Alright. Okay, so green we have. Oh, we're supposed to create one color actually. Then you assemble all the stones at the same type and receive a scroll of water. Oh, okay, so we scroll of fire. Now I understand what they meant by all the same type. The dusty road led him to a fork in the road. There was a sign, Rangwen, straight ahead, grotto to the right. When he was a kid, he visited a fair in the Rangwen with his mother, but he had never been to the grotto and heard only stories about this goblin city where think a bit. No need to think, just go ahead I guess. We don't want to die. For now at least. Daniel chose the path to Rangwen. This big city seemed to be a very attractive place to live in and to have a future career in the army there. It was getting dark. Danny could see the city gate up ahead and there were some guards near them. When he reached the gate, Danny paused for a moment considering his decision to join the Royal Army, but then he gathered his thoughts and took a step into a new chapter in his life. The city was secured by a massive wall, and in the center above the city there towered the beautiful castle of King Stefan. Around the castle there were houses of townspeople. Then he had to go to the king's castle to get a job. However, it was getting late and he needed to spend the night somewhere first. Let's ask someone. What? We lost life by asking someone. Then I went to the nearest house and knocked on the door. There was no light in the windows, however. After a while, a light appeared in the window on the second floor above Danny. He was happy, but happiness didn't last long. The window swung open and somebody threw something out. It was dark so Danny couldn't see it. Suddenly, a maze of considerable dimensions fell on his head. He had no chance to try. Come on now. This game is so cruel. Okay. I mean, we could die either way, right? 7 with more people at least. Then he went to the bottom tavern. Several drunken customers were standing in the doorway. They were noisily talking about something. Then suddenly they all looked at the stranger. They didn't seem very friendly. Should Danny walk past them calmly without looking them in the eye? Should he insult them, or should he be bold and walk past, pushing them aside with his shoulders? I mean boldly, since so they got their attention, might as well just capitalize on it, hopefully. Without turning around, then he went between the drunken customers and pushed them with his shoulders. At first they were indignant at his behavior, but as the young man didn't react to their insults in a way, they then continued to do whatever they had been doing before. Lucky. The tavern was full of people, all talking loudly and laughing. The innkeeper stood behind the bar, joyfully pouring beer for the drunken customers. Almost all the tables were occupied. Waitresses scurried from table to table, and local priestesses of love swirled around the drunken men. What should Danny do? Empty table seems start a fight. Seems the safest. The table was littered with empty mugs that the waitress had not cleared away yet. Then he sat down and stretched out his legs. At last he could rest a little. He stared at the drunken crowd that buzzed like a swarm of bees. Someone was groping waitresses, someone was breaking dishes, some gentlemen were about to start a fight, and others were just sleeping on the tables. Daniel didn't notice that a pretty red-haired girl in a very revealing attire sat down next to him. Hey baby, wanna have fun? Isn't so boring here, she said. What do you mean? And who are you anyway? Danny was taken aback. Oh, come on. Come, just as if you didn't understand me. I mean exactly that thing. Call me Liliana, she said, and put her hand on Daniel's knee. Oh, now I see. And are you offering me that for a fee? The young man asked. Of course. This is not for free. For free we can only chit-chat, and only for a little while, Liliana said. Let's chit-chat for a while. Get to know her at least. Then let's talk. Free of charge, Danny said, smiling. Alright, go ahead. My name is Daniel. I'm from Sunny Hills. I came here to serve in the Royal Army. Where are you from? I was born in the village of Foothills. I spent all my childhood there, and when I grew up, I realized there was nothing for me to do there at all. So I came to Rangburn. However, here I found no decent job, so I have to earn an honest crust the way I can. I could enlist as a guard, though, but women are rarely accepted to do such jobs. And hell, I can swing a sword pretty well, Elena said. Do you ever think of joining the Royal Army? Maybe you should. Who knows? Maybe. You have a shortness of shoulders. It dawned on Daniel. I've been thinking about it too. You know, maybe I should really give up everything and go to war. It will be at least a useful and decent occupation for me. Thank you for listening, the girl said, and got up from the table. Thank you for the talk. Hope we meet again on the battlefield and show these Mingals who these lands belong to, Daniel said, then got up from the table and went to the innkeeper. Hopefully we made a friend. The innkeeper was a fat man with a large moustache. He polished the glasses until they shined as usual. Oh, I like the sarcasm there. How do you do, Daniel said. How the stranger, the innkeeper replied. Daniel came from Sunny Hills to serve in the king's army, the young man said. Congratulations, my name is Angelo and I own the place. The innkeeper replied indifferently. I like to spend the night here, Daniel said. No problem, 5 gold for a bed, said Angelo. Whoa, the thing is, I don't have any money at all. Is there any other way I can go get a bed? You can give me something valuable instead of money, or you can work for it. Oh, you can work for it off. See those two very drunk gentlemen over there at the table in the corner? They need to cool off before they start disturbing other visitors. If you help, you'll get a bed until tomorrow morning. What should Danny reply? Rumors, let's see. Are there any rumors around here? I'll tell you that only for some money or something valuable. Top secret information. Fair enough. Let's head to the young folks then. No wonder there was a warning that says it's just a parody. It all makes sense now. No problem, I'll figure it out, Danny said, and walked over to the indicated table. 2 drunken men and a little more than a meter tall were arguing loudly about something. If it weren't for me, you'd never brought the ring to the mountain, the first one said. Say what? I could have done it faster, but those bastards wanted me a little, said the second one. Daniel walked over to them and cleared his throat. Both dwarfs, they aren't dwarf actually, stared at him questioningly. You guys are talking very loud. Innkeeper is very displeased by your behavior. Either shut up or get out of the tavern, Danny said strictly, pointing to the door. Listen, you. Quit gaggling. Get the hell out of here while you can. Such words might make the blood run out of your nose, replied the first dwarf. What should Danny do? Grab them by the hand, throw them out of the tavern. Explain to them that they are wrong. Let's try that. Oh my god, and we died instantly. Guys, you're acting inadequately because you've been drinking too much beer. With your height, you don't need to drink so much. I'll advise you to. Then he broke off. The dwarf couldn't stand the young man's preaching and attacked him. One punched Danny in the face and the other pulled out a dagger and stabbed him in the stomach. No one could help Danny, or didn't want to for sure. And that's it. I believe this is our 3rd playthrough and we died. Got killed by dwarves. But we did. Our karma is actually on the hero side. Alright folks, that's a fun one. Definitely gonna play more and see how the story unfolds, since there's many more scenes to be opened and many more death scenes to be discovered. Alright folks, with that said, that brings us to end for this episode of IndieTention, where we take a look at Swordbreaker Origins, developed and published by DuCats Games Studio. Came out to Steam on 13 May 2022. Supposedly a prequel to Swordbreaker the game. Okay, before we bid farewell, let me provide you the price for each of the region. Okay, first of all, we have Euro. It's 819 euros, 999 US dollars, 719 pounds, 1450 Australian dollars, lastly 10 Singapore dollars. With that said, my name is Kaizer. For more Swordbreaker Origins and IndieTention, you can find it on the channel. Until the very next episode of Idol, you guys take care and I'll see you then. Peace out.